So today we're going to be focusing on our mission trials for Meitenkun. Now, Meitenkun is very different from SHUN'EI, and that's because he's a charged character. So if you look at his command list, you'll see a lot of inputs where you have to hold your arrow button, right? So yeah, you can see that this backwards uh, arrow is green, this downward arrow is green. That basically means you need to hold your input for like a few seconds and then it will work. Well, not really few seconds, just a few frames and then it should work. So with Shrimp, we just had to do like we just had to time our input. But with Meitenkun, it's kind of like you need to be patient with this character, and once you're doing one move, you need to have already planned up your second or third move, right? So that's what we're going to be focusing on this trial. So let's start with this one. So we have our down and then light punch 3 times, and then we need to hold back and then forward punch. Sorry, back and forward punch twice, right? Okay, so again for the crouching 3 times punch, I usually have a difficult time doing this, but one way to do this is to time it with your rhythm. So I go like 1, 2, 3, and that usually works. So while I'm crouching down, the second thing I'm going to do is, if you look at my input right now, this is down, and now if I change this slightly, now it's down, but it's backward as well. So now after this, if I press, oh sorry, if I press forward and then punch, it should move into that move that we just saw earlier. So this is what we want to do. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and voila. Right? This was easy enough. Just time it with your own rhythm, and you'll be able to do this. Now on to our next subject. Okay. So now this one is a bit simpler. We have heavy punch, then down back uh, our light punch, and then our super with kick. Oh, awesome. So this was easy enough as well. Let's move on to the next subject. Okay, so now in this one, uh, we have heavy punch, back, down, okay, heavy punch, back, light kick, and then down, backwards, double punches. Okay, easy enough. Now, as soon as I do the double punches, I need to hold my back and then do this forward movement again with double punches. So let's try to do this. Uh, and then once that is done, I just need to add forward light kick at the end. Okay, this was also easy enough. Now let's move on to the next subject. Okay, so this seems a little bit tricky. Okay, so I'm going to ignore the quick version just like we did with Chanel, and then focus on the down parts first to make sure we uh, get this properly done. Okay, now I think this is also easy, so we can just do the entire input. Ah, yeah, so this was also quite easy to do. The only thing that you might have difficulty doing with Meitenkun is the holding types of input, but once you get the hang of it, they are pretty easy. Okay, now on to our next challenge. So I'm going to do ignore the quick part and then just do the bottom part first. Okay, so if you look at it, this input, now this is a little bit difficult. When we do this forward, we also need to hold down and do this, and then we also then had to, so we're planning our three moves together. We need to hold backwards, then hold downwards, then hold backwards again. Okay. Okay, I had to do it with simple, but I did it with the double pumps. Awesome. Okay, now let's do it with our quick. Oh, okay, so yeah, easy enough. Just had to mess it a few times. Oh, awesome. So we have already completed all of the missions for Meitenkun. Yeah, so just practice it a few times and you'll be able to get the hang of it. The only troublesome part is holding your inputs. But once you are able to master it, I think the rest is easy with this character.